Hey guys, it's your brother in Christ, Weston. Thanks for joining me today. So today's article comes out of End Times Headlines. Let's get into it. Okay, so in something that should have happened a long time ago, and even though I am a participator of it by all means, it says here, the US officially bans red food dye over possible risk of cancer. I hate that they say possible because there's actually a risk of it, meaning that maybe not everyone's going to get it. I hate the word possible because it does produce this, and they say it because we've seen it been banned in other nations. So let's read. It says the outgoing U.S. President Joe Biden's admin on Wednesday announced a ban on red dye number 3, a controversial. Sorry, I'm trying to fix my posture here. I'm trying to have better posture these days. Controversial food and drug coloring long known to cause cancer in animals. Decades after scientific evidence first raised alarm on red 3, it is also called. It's currently used in nearly 3,000 food products. Yikes! In the United States, according to a nonprofit environmental working group. The FDA is revoking the authorized uses, FDA, my goodness, in food and ingested drugs of FD&C. Red number 3 is the color additive regulations, said a document from the Department of Health and Human Services published in the Federal Register on Wednesday. Um, I mean, and I'll give my 2 cents here in a minute. The decision follows a petition filed in November 20. No, that was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, by Center of Science and Public Interest (CSPI) and other advocacy groups, which cited the Laney clause, a provision mandating the prohibition of any color additives shown to cause cancer in human or animals, and it's shown to cause cancer in animals. Today's actions by the FDA is long overdue. Ding, 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 ding. The FDA, whoever's in charge of the FDA making decisions on behalf of the FDA, you cannot tell me that you look at the back of a product. I was just talking about this with my wife. Looking back on a product, looking at every single chemical that's in there, and then saying, this is somehow good for me. Then tell me that eggs are bad for you. They're high in cholesterol. They're high in this, too much red meat. But, and then just eat plants. Yet, I look at that and I'm like, okay, well, the body needs protein. It definitely needs some carbs for sure. It needs fats. It needs these things. The issue it doesn't need is every single chemical that's on the back of a product being ingested by the body over time. This is my 2 cents, by the way. Over time, I believe produces all the actual issues we have within ourselves of gut issues, which is the second brain, which it causes a ton of inflammation, um, inflammation issues, body issues, skin issues, tumors, diseases. My goodness, I can't even imagine. And I'm not a scientist by any means. It's just it's easy to look at the writing on the wall, going, what's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? And why am I having this in food? I don't get it. Should my body be absorbing this? Um, I had been recently, probably over the past 2 years, that's recent, working through doing keto and a carnivore type diet where you're just having lower carbs and just more fats and proteins, but then also like an animal based diet or a carnivore diet is single ingredient foods. So my foods these days look like eggs, butter, salt, actual real salt, um, olive oils or avocado oils or whatnot that are only cut from a single source. So they're not cut from multiple sources. They come from one place. Single source places as well, like honey coming from the farm to me, not coming from the farm to this distribution, this person, before it finally makes it to me. Meat, where does it come from? I try to buy everything organic in the house. And yes, we'll still have sugars and ice creams and stuff that has other stuff in it. The idea here is that you're having less and less and less and less and less of actual chemical based foods to just having single based foods, and then tell me on the back end that, well, the reason why your blood pressure high is because you're having too much salt. Do you know that the body needs salt, potassium, and magnesium? Those are your electrolytes. You know that if it doesn't have enough salt, the heart starts to palpitate, your blood pressure starts to rise. I have anywhere between 3,000 to 6,000 milligrams of salt. I just did a calcium score this past week because I've been having some weird breathing issues. And I'm working through that, figuring out that it's actually musculoskeletal that's happening to me. It's causing me to have some weird palpitations. I did a calcium score. My calcium score was amazing. I just took my blood work. My blood work, amazing. Guess what I've just been eating? Red meat, chicken, beefs, or whatever. Just red meat, I guess. Chicken, butter, eggs, and a ton of salt on everything. Cheese doesn't matter, but I look at it and I look at the sources of what's coming into my body and I go, oh, it's got these. these oils that are in it, canola oils, these seed oils, that these what is it, rape fruit oils, or grapefruit, and then rapeseed oil, like all these super inflammatory oils. I bet you that's the issue. Also, bet it's mixed with that chemical over there as well, which is causing a whole bunch of issues in the body. I am a full believer of it at this point. Why? Because I've always had good blood work, but my blood work has never been that good. And um, to know that I'm taking in a whole bunch of fats, a whole bunch of cholesterol, all that stuff, right? From stuff we're supposed to stay away from, supposedly. Um, and having the best blood work I've ever had. I breathe easier, even though right now I'm having some musculoskeletal issues that are causing me to have weird breaths that I'm working through. But my body's screaming something, saying your blood and your heart look great. My muscles, on the other hand, are just because of poor posture and poor hip issues. Anyways, that's another story. Let's finish up here. It says here, the momentous decision is a testament to the years of dedicated advocacy, he stated, emphasizing the pivotal role played by public health champions like Michael Jacobson, who I don't know, who fought relentlessly for decades on behalf of consumers. Red dye number three, a synthetic colorant, is commonly found in a wide array of candy, foods, and beverage products. However, many of the most well known brands have either never incorporated this additive into their recipes or already taken steps to eliminate it. For instance, Ferrara, I don't know what that is, the parent company of Brax Candy, okay, Brox Candy, reported that fewer than 10% of its products contain red dye number three. Shouldn't contain any. Zero. Having begun to phase out the process earlier in 2023, made a spokesperson via email. In addition, Just Born, the company famous for Peeps, I love Peeps, marshmallow treats, confirmed it ceased the use of red dye number three following the Easter holiday of 2024. But how long has it been? I used to eat Peeps all the time as a kid, and Brock's, their candy corns, or their other foods. I grew up on these things. In response to the growing health concerns, some manufacturers have opted for red dye number 40, which is frequently perceived as a safer alternative due to its lack of extensive association with cancer. It doesn't matter. Red dye this, red dye that. Like at some point, if one has cancer and you're like, well, this one doesn't have has less research, well, you shouldn't do it anyways, because it doesn't make any sense to put that in there. You don't need it. I don't need something to look red for it to taste good. Um, However, California recently took a precautionary measure by banning red dye number 40 in food and beverages products sold in public schools. The decision stemmed from rising apprehensions about potential, keyword potential, that's how you hide behind everything, potential links between dye and behavioral attention related in children. And that's true. I've seen being a first time parent, and my son, we only have one son, we only have one child. And realizing that, when you hear moms or people make videos about heavy metals in certain foods, and then their child starting to act a different way, that stuff is real life. Like, no joke. And when you start to remove those things, the body starts to like detox it. It goes through this phase where it's like either like detoxing, so it gets sick, and then your body's flushing it out. And then once it's out, it's out. And it's like, whoa, something changed. My skin looks better, my attitude's better, my sleep is better. What's going on? Um, but the idea is that it's hooked you. It's like an addiction. It's good. It's tasteful. It's sugary. I like it. I have this taste for it. Um, Alarming, one study suggested a possible connection to accelerated tumor growth in immune systems of mice, while additional reports pointed out that red dye number 40 contains benzene, a known carcinogen, further intensifying the ongoing debate around safety. Dude, if you even at that blue dye, so the reason why I was saying, I talked to my wife about this earlier. She was making food and I was cleaning some dishes, and I was like, "Hey, did you see that? Have you seen that TikTok video with the Takis?" I've never had a Taki in my life, so it's just to me, it's the modern day puffy Cheeto, and or Funyun, which I love. I love those. I haven't had them in years. Anyways, somebody pointed out that in the video they took a plastic bottle and then they poured the ingredients that's in the Taki on the back, and it's literally, it gets to a point where the ingredient is all the ingredients are taking up almost the entire, like, it's, I think, that about this much of the bottle, of the cup, open cup, like this. And then you're done, and there's blue something in there because they changed the colors of it, like red, green, blue, orange, all that stuff. And I just thought to myself, well, where's the actual food? And that is the food. Then you mix it up and you bake it, and that's what you put in your body. And it was like a shell shocker kind of situation, because in my mind I'm like, who comes up with this stuff that would want to throw all these things together? Why would you do this? And then on top of that, why would I ever want to eat that? And there's a difference between when you see the final product versus how the product is made, that makes you kind of just like, you just kind of change your mind on it. And so, anyways, all that to say, I'm covering this because it's important to me, about health and about taking care of your body. Because I'm a father, I'm a husband, I am the provider of my family, and it's super important for me that I take care of myself, that I'm healthy, that I can run, that I can play with my son, that I can protect my wife and my son at any means. If I need to run after somebody, I need to have good heart health. I need to have good cardio. I need to be strong in case I need to fight somebody off or fight multiple people off, or give myself for my family. I think about those things because I don't want to be out of shape. I don't want to be in a position where I could be compromised and at least not attempt to fight back and have a better chance of winning outside of obviously a safety arm or something like that that's on me. I'm talking about physical health in general, but I'm also talking about longevity, like living. Like I'm not trying to have an early grave. I'm not trying to give my own, produce my own issues here when I don't have to. So I say that because yes, I just had a calcium score last week because I've been having some recent breathing issues where my heart is starting to palpitate and I'm not working out. I'm not taking a pre-workout. I'm not stacked with caffeine. It's been hours on end, and all of a sudden I'm like, I can't take a meaningful breath, and I'm having to think about breathing. And I'm actually going to go get an echocardiogram tonight for it just to make sure. But I watched some videos about me having some issues, that I have issues in my hip, in my hips, my psoas. Are connected to my diaphragm, and it causes me to have issues like upper back pain, neck pain, and it's a posture related issue. And I was like, da 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 da, ding 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 ding, like there it is. But to not figure that out and think I'm having heart issues, because you guys don't know, I have an enlarged heart. That means the walls of my heart are thicker. And I found that out 3 years ago taking an echocardiogram. I also have something called a right bundle branch block, where the right side of my heart misfires. So if your left side fires like that, and the left and the right is supposed to do this. It's supposed to be in sync. Mine goes like that. And what can happen is, in extreme cases, I could pass out or something like that. I've never had that issue. Also, since the walls of my heart are thicker, my heart also is not as stiff. My heart's not stiff, meaning as you get older, your heart gets stiffer and it can't blow up, which can cause cardiac arrest. And the only reason I know about that is because the echocardiogram, I was having issue on my left side and found out it was musculoskeletal issues. I say that because this stuff is important to me, and obviously I cover Bible stuff. I cover all things related news, and this is important. And I say that because I tell you guys to take care of yourself all the time. Take care of your health. If you're a husband, your wife, you're just single, doesn't matter. Take care of yourself. Take care of the temple, because this stuff is super serious. And I just did a calcium score last week. Took less than 4 minutes to be done with a little radiation, and I came back and my calcium score was 0, meaning my arteries are great, which was I was super ecstatic. Um, Tonight I have an echocardiogram to look at my heart and see how it works and breathes, and look at the structure of it. And then just to follow up later down this month, I'll have a stress test, which I'm fit, and meaning that like I run miles and miles, I work out every single day, but I was having issue of breathing, and I think I found my issue. Praise God for that. And I saw this, I was like, man, this makes so much sense. Anyways, this stuff is important to me. I'm going to cover it. But for anybody out there, look at the ingredients and look at the back of this stuff, and then ask yourself, like, man, I know this tastes super good, but is this really good for me? I'm not saying all sugar is bad. I have sugar all the time. I actually love sugar, but I really love heavy fat. I like being full, and my mind will turn off because I'm not hungry anymore, but I want a ton of fat. I love the peanut butters, the almond butters, the steaks, the beef, the chicken, heavy eggs. I have like 8 eggs a day with salt on it and butter, and I've had the best blood work I've ever had, and I have zero calcium in my arteries, and I lose a ton of weight from it because of the lack of carbs, that my body's having to work through, but also the lack of inflammation that I'm getting from stuff like this that's in literally everything. So this isn't like a, hey, I'm your nutritionist by any means. It means that I've had issues for quite some time working through, and my scare is that when I would eat stuff like this, that it was and I would feel a certain way. I'm super attentive to my body, and I realized that my body is not my own. My body is used as a machine, as a tool in a sense, to benefit people and serve people in a capacity that I can. And I want to be able to serve the Lord with a body that can move, can function, can breathe, can move, can be mobile, and can take, I can repair. My body can be good to repair against sicknesses or diseases or whatever comes my way. Um, so from your non-medical, no degree professional here, take care of yourself, watch what you're eating. And yeah, so anyways, guys, that's the video. If you like the video, be sure to like the video. If you want to see more, be sure to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.